Hey guys, so this is going to be a kind of chill, laid-back-ish wrap-up for the month of August, and then a TBR for September. I'm way behind already, and really going to spend a bunch of time working on books for the self-published science fiction competition. Got to get a lot of those to at least 20%. So that's going to take up a good bit of my time. I've got actually two read-alongs that I'm working on. I put one on hold if you've been following along. We're doing the Realm of the Elderling series. A couple other channels are also doing it. They're different stages. But my channel is currently at... we just finished the Live Ship Trader series. We're going back into the Tawny Man trilogy. So that will be awesome, but that will probably skip a month or two depending on how quickly I can knock out these self-published science fiction books. So let's go over what I read last month and then transition into what I plan on reading this month. Probably not going to be a ton, but I'm going to work on doing that. So let's look at the notebook here. What I read last month did really, really, really well. I know I've already talked about The Martian. There's a review on that. I will link it somewhere up here and then in the description. Really enjoyed it. Lots of fun. I've got this copy here. Audible may still have it free as one of the books that don't know why that's in there. But they had it free on Audible. I said, might as well take advantage of it while I can. One of those included books. And had a great time with it. So if you are curious on my thoughts on that, you can check out my review. Next was Monstra, it's basically Monster, but it's the French version. I read that on the Kindle. I don't have that out. I'm showing you a case. So Duncan Swan is one of the two authors putting together the self-published science fiction competition, and because of that, he is an author that I'd had on my radar, but hadn't read his book yet, and I thought, you know what? No time better than the present. I went ahead and added that as a late add to my TBR, and I read it, and it was good. It was really, really good. The next book's coming out here in the very near future. I think end of the year, November, I believe. But yeah, it was a great first start of a book, and I'm really, really excited to read his second book. Speaking of self-published science fiction competition authors, I finished his Shift, and then I read Dust. I read Shift in July. I'm sorry. This was the one I read in August. It was Dust. This concludes the Wool trilogy. Puts a nice little bow on the series. I was talking with Scott from Book Invasion. I actually read this as a read-along on his channel. He loves the series. He absolutely adores it. For me, I would say probably book 1 is a 5-star, book 2 is a 4-star, and this one is a 4-star. I liked the ending, but I didn't love the ending, if that makes sense. Some of the things that I really, really enjoyed about it, I just kind of wished it had ended in a different way. But I'm not a published author who creates coherent stories. Just because I would have done it differently doesn't mean it's not the right way to do it. I will do a review, summary, / maybe a couple spoilers of the whole series, and then I might review a couple of the books. I did quite enjoy this series, and I highly recommend it. It's the kind of sci-fi that's very approachable. You don't have to learn a bunch of science to get it. It is easy to get into, for sure. Again, talking about that read-along that we're doing, finished Jack Campbell's, this one's Steadfast. Probably, if I had to classify them all, this would be the worst book in the series. Not because it's bad, just because the high standard of the other ones was not in this one. It was just okay. They go back to old Earth. They are kind of swallowed up in Earth politics, and then they have to leave there because of assassination attempts. Then they get back, and there's more political struggle. Then Blackjack and his wife, Captain Destiny, are separated. We did a live stream about it. I'll link that as well. If you're a fan of the series, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't read the series, we're kind of a way in, so it would be hard. I mean, I'm spoiling everything to let you know certain parts of this book already. So, yeah, it was just okay, is all I'll have to say about this one. So I read with the wonderful team of Faulkner and August Sanctuary, and I didn't enjoy this book. It hinted at a ton of things. It wanted to be dark. Imagine a book where somebody is trying to cause drama. And in the 1930s, this book would have caused a lot of drama. I could see that. But, I mean, it's about a young girl who gets kidnapped, forced to live in a whorehouse. A lot of other things that go on. There's a murder trial. There's Southern politics. I want to say that I enjoyed it, but I did not. I found it to be... It just was not my taste. Not at all. I would not recommend... If you're going to read William Faulkner, I would not recommend Sanctuary. Now, a book that I have to tell you, this reread is marvelous. I don't know why people don't talk about this book more. I don't know why people don't talk about the series more. I loved this book. It was so much fun. It takes the first book and a coming of age tale and then moves into a romance. This is two people who don't want to be together, are forced to be together, and then find love through hardship. Man, it was just pleasurable to read. Just a considerate couple who had issues and worked through those issues, fell in love with one another, in a intricate prequel of a story where you learn about a time before everything in the first book happened, the magic of Recluse. So, as things are being created, as people are creating this town, later on, hundreds of years later, the first book starts in this town. So it really, really interesting to see the way, like, I loved it. I can't talk highly enough about this book series. Book 1, book 2, 5 stars. You should read them. I know you haven't, but you should. Now, another book that I read that to say it was a mood read is not really true. I've had it on my to be read for a while. This is Unsold by Will White. Very enjoyable book. Book 1, Audible had it, no longer has it. I checked for free on audiobook. But Will White puts most of his books out for free. If you just find the right weekend, he puts like all 8 of his Unsold books on sale on Kindle for free. All of them are available on Kindle Unlimited, so you can get into the series relatively cheaply. And I, from reading book 1, I would say Unsold is a heck of a start to a series. It basically has magic systems, and this group of people are in this sacred valley, and you're basically given the opportunity at a young age to figure out what part of magic you're associated with, and whatever part of magic you're associated with, that kind of puts you on your life path. So our main character goes and tries to figure out what kind of magic he's associated with, and he has nothing. He has no like definitive magical path, so he's called an Unsold. He's basically like a pariah. Might as well have been like born with 6 noses across the front of his face. Everybody's ashamed to look at him. Everybody's ashamed to know him. His family is even like, look, you're useless to the world, but we love you and we'll keep you around. I mean, his family treats him well, but everybody else treats him like he's garbage. And it's his journey of a super, super strong moment where the world either changed or he could go back to his regular life, the decision he makes there, and how that affects the rest of his life. And I can't say any more without spoiling it. It was very enjoyable. Listen to it on Audible. I also have the books on my Kindle, so I followed along. I find that one of the best, if you're not an audiobook person, do an audiobook while following along, and it might get you into it, because man, it's a great way to experience a book. Reading it physically while listening to it on audiobook. And sometimes you read faster in the audiobook, so you might have to speed it up a little bit to kind of keep your reading pace at the same pace. I've found that 2 times works best for me, but man, doing it that way, I really, really enjoy. I did Jurassic Park that way as well. I'll talk about that. I'm already halfway done with that, and that's on the TBR for this month. So, just turn this back into the library. Streams of Silver by R.A. Salvatore. This is the second book in the original trilogy of the Legend of Drizzt series. They are going... in the first book, you were in Icewind Dale up in the north, frozen tundra land. You meet Wolfgar. You meet all the characters, right? And then this second book, they're going to Bruner's ancestral home, and they go to Bruner's ancestral home. And Drizzt has promised to go with him. Wolfgar, his adopted son, has promised to go with him. And Regis, we find out, went with him because he knows that an assassin is on his tail. Well, the assassin ropes in Bruner's other adopted daughter and kind of takes her hostage. And then there's a whole fight between Drizzt and the assassin. They're fairly evenly matched, but 2 sides of a different coin. You've got a human who chose to be dark and a dark elf who chose to be good. The dynamic between the two. Very interesting the way that R.A. Salvatore created a nemesis for Drizzt that is an equal in skill, but different in theology. I thought that was really, really cool. Can't wait to read the 3rd one. I'll get that from the library soon. Finally finished An Echo of Things to Come. I should have never let other things stop me from reading this book. It's marvelous. It's so stinking good. This is book 2 in the Lycanius trilogy. First book is a Shet. So I gave my mom's reading the second one now because I finished it, gave it to her. I gave her the first one to read. Then she bought me the 3rd one. She didn't match the copies though. But this copy is actually really, really nice. Instead of the kind of matte finish here, it's got this finish. I don't know. I may, just for sake of similarity, I may grab the matte finish one. But these covers are gorgeous. My mom has the second one, An Echo of Things to Come. 3rd one is All the Light That Falls. I mean, the war is expanding. The world building is getting bigger and bigger and better. The magic system is getting more fleshed out. We learn so much more about the Venerate and who the Venerate are. It's so good. It's so stinking good. You've got to read it. You really got to read it. All right. Ship of Destiny by Robin Hobb. This is the final book in the Live Ship Trader series. It was good. Really just shows how great of a writer Hobb is. She has to torture her characters. They can't have a good life. They generally, when this one more than others, they had a happier ending. Hopefully that's not too spoilery there, but it is. Some of the characters have a happier ending than she generally gives her characters, which was nice. I did appreciate that. But yeah, wonderful end to this series. Live Ship Trader is still my favorite of all of her books. I know a lot of people are partial to Fitz, and I like Fitz as well, but just the cast of characters we get with Live Ship Traders is marvelous, and I loved hanging out with them. I'm a big fan of the I'm a big fan of the sea shanties as well, so that pirate mentality always has me in the right frame of mind. And last but certainly not least is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I am really coming to a place where, as much as I enjoy these books, she left so much on the table that she could have really given such a beautiful... She could have made life so much better for her characters. She could have included more houses. She could have included the wider wizarding world more. She created a marvelous villain in Dolores Umbridge. The woman is genuinely awful. I just don't know how... I find myself on this Harry Potter reread finding so many cracks and flaws that I didn't see the first time. All my rose-colored glasses are shattered for sure, and I really want more out of Harry Potter. I wish she would hand it off to an author who was willing to grow the world organically and really focus on what it could be. I watched a YouTube video today about Slytherin and how Slytherin is just bad guys, and there's no reason that house should be maligned like that. And the way that a teacher and a leader like Dumbledore, who was so wise and so smart and so cunning, could not have funneled so much more energy into taking the students in Slytherin and moving their energies in a better, more diverse light. I think I've realized I'm more of a Ravenclaw this time around. I've always thought I was a Gryffindor, but then my analytic mind fits so much better with Ravenclaw. I come in at like almost a 50-50 tie. I think I was 51% Gryffindor to 49% Ravenclaw, and I'm claiming Ravenclaw now. I'm jumping the Gryffindor boat onto the Ravenclaw boat. So that's my wrap up for the month. Heck of a month. I had a lot of fun reading books. Now really getting into the self-published science fiction books, and I wanted to go over those as well, and then add a few books to my TBR. Went to Dragon Con over September, the Labor Day weekend. Only one day, but I got to meet John Scalzi. So I had him sign Old Man's War, and I actually got to speak to him, ask him, what his thought process. I don't know if you can see that from here, but ask him what his thought process on the book was, and I'll share that with you when I do the review. Super nice guy. I was really excited to get to meet him. So I'm reading his book. I started it and I really enjoyed the first couple chapters. He's got that funny wit. The main character, I can't remember his name. Actually, on my Discord, if you look, it actually says Raj, the CDF recruit, which is from that book. I like to do that on my Discord. If you're not a part of my Discord, please come join. You can always give yourself nicknames, and generally I do my nicknames to the books that I'm currently in the process of reading. And so I was King of the Pirate Isles last month. This month I'm CDF recruit. And I'd love for you to join me on that. We had a lot of fun with nicknames a while back. Everybody gave themselves a really awesome nickname. So I'd love if you guys hop in, give yourself a cool nickname. The Jurassic Park Readalong, which I'll talk about in just a second. I'm the Discord host for that, so anybody being part of that can jump in and be part of that as well. Great conversations. Right now I'm looking at a GIF of a bunch of people in T-Rex costumes running a race. We're having a lot of fun, and you guys should definitely be there. Next book I'm adding would be Jurassic Park. Halfway done already. Next Saturday is the live stream for that. I'm going to join. It's over on Danny from Spinelli Speaks channel. Sorry, my mouth is getting dry. And her channel, she's running this whole thing. And I'm so honored to be part of it. I mean, Michael Crichton wrote a book that no wonder they turned it into one of the best movies of all time. I mean, this book grips you. It's different from the movie, so it gives you enough of a different perspective. You have characters fleshed out in different ways. You learn more about, the raptor hunter. Never knew his name till I read the book. Muldoon. Never knew his name. Now I know his name, and I know he had all kinds of guns in the movie. He only has 2 rocket launchers in the book. That's the only defense they have on this island. The lethal defense. Like, can you imagine the destruction we're looking into for the second half of this book? I want to go read it right now. Like, why did I have to stop? Like, I have to wait till next Saturday to read again? I mean, it's that good. I can't imagine how much better this gets. I skipped all the way ahead. So we're supposed to stop right before, if you've seen the movie, they're pulling up at night in the rain, thunderstorm, to the T-Rex paddock, okay? And then the car shut off, and we're supposed to stop there. Did I stop there? No, I did not stop there. I kept going. I went to another part of the movie, to the book. That the movie, if you know I'm very excited. If you haven't figured this out, I'm very excited. All right. So also, I'm in the process of reading Monroe. I did this version because it was on Audible. I used a credit for that. Audiobooks really make the presidential biographies kind of stick out. I've got this version, which is a great version. Harry Ammon did a fantastic version, but it's very dry. So I'm using it as a reference, and I'm listening to the audiobook. Monroe, interesting character, interesting man. Very excited to learn more about him. Still working on the Berserk. I'm in the Golden Arc. I love the Golden Arc. It is one of my favorite stories of all time. Easily my favorite manga. Easily, Guts is top 5 characters in like anything I've ever read in my life. Top 5 swords. His sword, oh my gosh, it is a hunk of metal. It's not a sword. Wonderful story. Wonderful story. Golden Arc might be top 3 stories I've ever read. Okay. I have to finish The Dark Tower. I'm that far into it. 10%, 15%. 30% into Arm of the Sphinx, if you can see it here. I don't know if the camera's even pointing at it. But Arm of the Sphinx, second book in the Books of Babel series, Josiah Bancroft. Really enjoying it. Just trying to find space for it in my repertoire of books to read. I have it on Audible. I have it physically. I wanted to support the author as much as I can because I think he's a great author and I think he's a cool guy. Follow him on Twitter, and I had a couple cool conversations with him on Twitter. Just a really cool guy. All right, and as we jump into the books that I'm doing for self-published science fiction competition, I'm having a really exciting time this video here. Probably going to read. These are the books that I've downloaded on my Kindle already, so they're higher up on the list of what's going to get read. We have Percival Glint and the Conspiracy of Days by Drew Melbourne. He's actually watched one of my videos. It was cool to have him on. The Empress Capsule by R.K. Thorne. The Orthogonal Galaxy by Michael L. Lewis. I also have, what was the other one that I had? Folder by, his name is Raymond. I will have this for you in just a second. Raymond Bolton. I also have downloaded onto my Kindle. So all of those I'll try to get to at least 20%. I'm currently still working on The Wayfarer's Redemption, The Wakeful Wanderer's Guide to New England and Beyond is what that book is. I'm sorry. I have a hard time remembering the title. I've got that one at 20%. The Vacuum of Space is great. I've got it at 60%. I've got Broken Ascension, which I'm really, really enjoying as well, at about 40%. They really knocked my socks off, the two of those. They've been some of the better books that I've read so far in this series. I voted on all of them so far. Some of the other teams have already finished their 30 books to read. The 10 of us on Team Book Invasion, Scott from Book Invasion, my buddy, we're all 4 or 5 books in, and some people have finished all 30. So some people are way faster readers than we are, but we have a little bit of time, so I'm not worried about it. I'm going to knock out 3 or 4 of them this month and 3 or 4 of them next month, and by the time that our time is up, I will have had all of them at least 20%. I will have voted on all of them. We're getting closer to the cover competition. I think we got a whole nother round of voting coming up. We voted on our we started with the top 300. We voted on the top 100, and we will narrow that down, I believe, to a top 10, and then we will vote on the top 10. So lots of stuff going on the channel. Please join, subscribe, be part of what we've got going on here. I know I've been flightier with videos. I used to have a video out every Wednesday, every Sunday, but I have not been able to keep up with that schedule. We had a COVID scare at the house. I had to quarantine. Never got it personally. Went and got the vaccine. So I had time to read and had time to make videos. But, just hanging out with the kids, kind of relaxing. I've had time to actually finish painting. Need to do that. That will be something that happens soon. I might do, I don't know, maybe I'll do a live stream and I'll just set up the camera. I'll pick all these books up, take my bookshelf down, paint, and then do the live stream of putting all the books back, organizing them. If you guys have any questions, maybe, I don't know, for an hour or so, maybe I'll just hang out with you guys. You guys can ask questions and stuff. I mean, you'll be watching my back a lot. I'll wear a hat, so I'm not shining your eyes out with the bald spot back here, but maybe we'll do something like that. I've also talked about, if anybody's interested, let me know in the Discord, maybe like a online board game night. like Sunday evening or, one night of the week that people might want to do it. There's a couple good board game services where it's like $5 for a couple different board games where we can play them online. Might be kind of fun. Something that we're working on. And then, so if you've got any questions, please put them in the comments down below. Check out some of the other reviews that I've done that I've linked here for you, and I will see you next time. Thank you for joining me. Bye.